for this lesson, we're going to continue on with dimensional analysis, but we're going to do it a little differently. Before, we were just going from either a base unit to a prefix or a prefix to a base unit. Now we're going to do the next step and go from one prefix to another. So the big thing to make sure is have your metric charts handy because we will be using these. So to start off with, our example problem is we are starting out with 25 nanoliters and we want to go to microliters. So again, nanoliter is going to be NL and microliter is that funny shaped U. Again, it's the Greek letter mu, L. So starting off the exact same way as before. You always start off with question mark microliter. That's what we're looking for. We have 25 nanoliters, and we're going to put this over 1. And then we start in with our next fraction. So then, just like before, we are going to take whatever's on top, bring it down below. So nanoliter. Now, to figure out what goes on top, we have to look at our conversion chart. So we go to look at our conversion chart. We are given that 1 nanoliter, 1 nanoliter equals 1 times 10 to the negative 9 liters. And we go to look at micro. We know 1 microliter equals 1 times 10 to the negative 6 liters. So we have these two. However, if you notice, we don't have one that goes directly from nanoliters to microliters. So what we need to do is we need to use liters as a bridge almost. It's going to have be this gap. So what we're going to do is we're still going to, just like before, convert it to liters. So then when we go to look at our equality here, 1 goes with the nanoliters, and 1 times 10 to the negative 9 goes there. But now, here comes the next part, the part that's new. We're going to add in an additional 1, because we're not done. We haven't changed nanoliters to microliters. We stopped it. If we stop now, we've only changed it to liters. So now what we need to do is we need to take liters, because it's on top, because these technically have canceled and have gone away. And we're going to put liters down below. And now what we can do is we can put microliters on top, because then these will cancel and we'll be left with that. So now when we go to look at it, we know 1 microliter is equal 1 times 10 to the negative 6 liters. And now we sit down and we do our math. So with this next section, let me change colors again. Let's go to red. I'm going to section this part off. So we have 25 times by 1 times by 10 to the negative 9 times by 1. Again, all I'm doing is just looking at these numbers here. Then when I go to look at the bottom, it's 1 times by 1 times by 1 times 10 to the negative 6. So again, with all of these, you can ignore the 1s. And in fact, when I look at this, what I do is I look at these right here, and I can say I can cross off my 10 to the negative 6, which means I can cross out a 10 to the negative 6 on top. What that changes to then is 10 to the negative third. So if you were to subtract those away, you end up getting negative third. So what we end up with is 2.5 times by 10 to the negative second. And then our unit on this one is microliters. Alright, now that we've worked out this one, let's go ahead and work out another one. On this one, let's go from, make it simple, 7 kilometers, and we're going to go all the way, let's do a millimeter, question mark, millimeter. Again, if you want to, try and pause it, work your way through it. If not, then just follow along. So again, just like always, question mark millimeter is going to equal 7 kilometers over 1. Again, just like always, kilometers is on top, so it's going to get put down below. And meters, the base unit is going to go on top of it. Then what we can continue on to do is we've now got meters on top with this, so it's going to go down below. And we're looking to go to millimeters, so I'll put millimeters up top. Problem is now I've got to plug in all my numbers. One thing, without even looking at the charts, I always know 1 goes with our prefix. So I'm going to put 1 with kilometers, and I'm going to put 1 with millimeters. Now when I go back and look at my metric chart, the number that goes with meters for the kilometer is 1 times 10 to the third. And when we look at millimeters, it should be 1 times 10 to the negative third. So now when we go to look at just the math, because our kilometers end up canceling, our meters end up canceling, so all we're left with is meters. So millimeters, sorry. So we're good. So now when I look at on top, we have 7 times by 1 times by 10 to the third times by 1. And again, when you're writing out your math, you don't need to include the ones. I'm just doing it to show how things line up. Times 10 to the negative third. And then that equals, so if we stop and look, we're going to have 7 times by 10 to the 6th millimeters. Is our answer for this one. Or you can even write 7.0. Doesn't really matter. But that's how you do two-step metric conversions.